So this is following news on what I believe is foreshadowing that Justin Herbert can go to the Super Bowl for the NFL 107 season that starts in 2026 and ends in 2027 with Super Bowl 61. So I think it foreshadowed with his first playoff game. Justin Herbert viral 27-point lead that was blown in the second half, leading to them to lose to the Jaguars' Trevor Lawrence, right? So the Chargers ended that season 10-7. That was the 2022 season. The Chargers' 63rd overall season as a franchise. From that game, January 14, 2023 to February 14, 2027, Oregon State Establishment Day, that's going to be the Super Bowl 61 date, February 14th, the 45th day of the year, is exactly 213 weeks from the day Justin Herbert and the Chargers blew the 27-point lead. That game ultimately ended up ending 30-31. Now, what caught my eye with 30-31 is that currently the NFC and AFC Super Bowl wins is at 29 AFC, 31 NFC. So if an AFC side team was to go to the Super Bowl, they would now make it 30-31, right? And that would add up to 61 points. So 30-31, wild card loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Chargers blew the 27-point lead 213 weeks before Super Bowl 61. And that game was a total of 61 points between both teams combined. And we all know the 213 area code is LA, and Super Bowl 61 will be in LA, So that's just to point out what I feel like I was seeing, because we have to go back to the early days of the AFL. The Chargers won their only championship in their organization in 1963, the same year Jim Harbaugh was born. Jim Harbaugh is now 63 years old coaching the Chargers, or will be, right? February 14, 2027 has the 63 date numerology, also 27. But in 1963, the Chargers won with 61 total points combined with both teams, 51-10. Now, doesn't that make you feel like they're foreshadowing something? Jim Harbaugh, 63 years old, who was born in 1963, the same year the Chargers won their only championship in their organization, with 61 total points with both teams combined, can now, all of a sudden, as the stars line up with the 63s and the 61, play in Super Bowl 61. You get me? Another thing I wanted to point out, we just witnessed that the UCLA girls March Madness won, right? And they did it on 4/5, 45 weeks before Super Bowl 61, which will be on the 45th day of the year. And Super Bowl 61 logo has the Dolphins colors, which is the Miami Dolphins. And we all know Miami equals 45 in gematria. So one of the stars, Gabriella, was posted on ESPN talking about how she wanted to be playing for UCLA in college, right? She was a young kid, and that's what she wrote down in one of her school projects or something. As we know, 9-year-old Justin Herbert did the same thing. He wrote down he wanted to play for the Chargers, wanted to live in California, wanted to be a professional football player. And we all see his picture with the Chargers shirt is on, right? So these are small things that I feel like are pointing to a bigger situation they're trying to point out. You understand? And the last video I made with Bam Adebayo breaking Kobe record on Justin Herbert birthday, 310, 310, the LA area code as well. The 83-point game. Football equals 83, and him scoring 43 points at halftime, 43 free throws, Chargers equals 43, and I think it was 43 days after Mike McDaniel, who came from Miami 45, Super Bowl on the 45th day of the year, he came from Miami to the Chargers, and that was 43 days after he was hired, and he's 43 years old as we speak. Bam Adebayo's birthday is a span of 213 days to Super Bowl 61. So we have some stuff that we're pointing out, we're seeing, and we're just trying to understand what's really happening. Just recall back to when Jim Harbaugh met Trump on July 10th, 10/7, 83 weeks. Remember the 83, Bam Adebayo, 83 points before Super Bowl 61. Football equals 83, right? So just to point that out, and then going back to Jim Harbaugh coaching the game between the Chargers and the Eagles in SoFi Stadium in LA. 41 total points. This was a tribute to Kobe because it was 107 days after Kobe would have been 47th birthday. Chargers equals 47. This upcoming season for the NFL is the 107th season, hence why the Chargers and Eagles are playing 107 days after Kobe's birthday. And that game, the Chargers won. Justin Herbert equals 61. Jalen Hurts equals 61. Philadelphia equals 61. Kobe is from Philadelphia. He played his career in LA. That game was exactly 61 weeks before Super Bowl 61, which will be held in Los Angeles, SoFi Stadium. I feel like these small things are hinting at Justin Herbert being the next guy that's showcased in LA. You got to remember he came to the Chargers organization during their 61st season as a franchise. His name equals 61. Justin Herbert equals 61. And he came in the most viral fashions, And he had the best rookie season of all time in the 61st season of the Chargers organization. And his name equals 61. And he won Rookie of the Year. And we all see the viral video of him holding the rookie trophy in SoFi, standing there by himself. Who's to say they were just foreshadowing he's going to be holding a Lombardi trophy in that same stadium 7 years later. But let's just think about it. Just like UCLA won on 4/5, 45 weeks before Super Bowl 61, that will be played on the 45th day of the year. And Super Bowl 61 has the logo colors of Miami. Miami equals 45 in gematria. The Chargers now have the Miami head coach as now their offensive coordinator. Justin Herbert was seen with Madison Beer again at the Laker game on March 31st, 2026, 45 weeks before Super Bowl 61. This debut at the Laker basketball game was exactly 113 weeks after the Chargers and the Eagles played. The ritual from Kobe 107 days after Kobe's birthday, they played. Kobe Bryant equals 113. He also equals 41. Hence why he was going at 41, sadly. And that the Chargers and Eagles total points in that game was 41 total points. LA typed into gematria equals 41. But the game between the Chargers and the Eagles, December 8th, 2025 to March 31st, 2026, Justin Herbert shows up at the Laker game with his girlfriend, is 113 days. Kobe Bryant equals 113. But let's also think about it. Ohio equals 61, right? The Ohio team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, Cleveland, Ohio, lost with 113 points. But what is 113? 113 is the 30th prime number. The number that Justin Herbert is trying to get the AFC side in the NFL for wins in the Super Bowl. But let's also think about it. The Lakers scored 127 points. 127 is the 31st prime number, which that's what the NFC has right now. So the day that Justin Herbert shows up, both teams' game-ending points is prime numbers, and it's the same prime numbers that it will be if the AFC side wins the Super Bowl in Super Bowl 61, 30 to the NFC, 31 wins in the Super Bowl. You can say it's a stretch. I don't believe so. The date numerology of Justin Herbert being at this game, it was on 80 date numerology. We all know Trump is going to be 80 years old during the Super Bowl. Remember, Jim Harbaugh met Trump on 10/7. And this is going to be 107 season that he's going to be 80 years old. Los Angeles Chargers, typed into gematria, equals 80. So let's just say it's not a coincidence, you know? And just to bring up the 45 again, Justin Herbert, first time going viral in LA. When he first showed up with Madison Beer at the Laker game, he fist bumped and handshaked LeBron James. The ball was thrown towards Madison Beer, and he blocked it carefully and, moved it out the way so it didn't hit her, which just went for a viral moment on the internet. But I just wanted to bring up him being at this Laker game was 45 days before this Kobe ritual with the Chargers playing the Eagles, and how all the 61s add up and how that game is 61 weeks before Super Bowl 61. This video that I'm making here is just pointing out small clues that I feel like is pointing to a bigger thing, We also got to remember that Drew Brees will be inducted into the Hall of Fame, first drafted by the Chargers. His name equals 45. His only Super Bowl win was in Miami. Just to bring up that Miami again, Miami equals 45. LIX, that's the Roman numerals for 61, equals 45. So, yeah, we have small things that we're seeing here that are just pointing to a bigger end goal that I'm looking at. And I'm looking at the Chargers being a team representing the AFC side in the Super Bowl and hopefully winning it. I feel like 2025 season was a big ritual year, a big if you want this, you got to go through this, a trial and error. You got to go through these things. And Justin Herbert was the most hit, most touch sack quarterback with the worst offensive line and still brought his team to the playoffs. With a broken hand and, injury-riddled offensive line. But he's just pulling through just to make it, showing how good he is. Hence why they had him as the lone MVP vote. You get me? I don't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to point out that, hey, I'm on the Chargers, and as I continue to do my research, as I continue to see more and more stuff come out, this is looking like it's the pick for me. I was wrong last year, and I understand that. But the only reason why I was wrong is because I was trying to force Fee to see that they would be in Super Bowl 60. And it had clues that I thought and I believed that he should be in that Super Bowl. But the clue that I was hanging on the most was Jim Harbaugh met Trump 213 days before Super Bowl 60. But what I totally missed was that it was on 10/7, which is the next season will be the 107th season. So it was foreshadowing that since it's 213 days before a Super Bowl, it was just letting us know that Jim Harbaugh will be coaching the Chargers in the next Super Bowl, the 213 area code Super Bowl 61. So that was my bad. But at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. I still feel like I'm onto something, and this might be the pick. Last thing I want to point out, this is the Oregon Ducks quarterback, Justin Herbert, who was originally born in Oregon, went to Oregon, and won the Oregon Pac-12 championship. And now, with all the stars lining up, the Super Bowl is going to be on Oregon Establishment Day, which is also Valentine's Day. And every time we see Justin Herbert for the past year or two, he's booed up with his girlfriend, Madison Beer. It's mostly the only time you see him, when he's out with her. You get me? I'm just putting more and more clues together on what they planning out here. But, hey, he's the guy. He's the most talked about if man. He's the most somewhat hated because everybody knows he's talented, but he just doesn't do anything. But he's following the same steps as Peyton Manning. Yards, I think touchdowns, playoff record 0-3, like literally the same script. You get me? So Peyton Manning first Super Bowl was in Miami, and we just got all these Miami callbacks with this Super Bowl with the 45s and everything. Like I said earlier, I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers playing the Bears for Super Bowl 61 in 2027. Just to recall, Peyton Manning played his first Super Bowl win versus the Bears. I wouldn't be surprised. Chargers versus the Bears, Super Bowl 61 in 2027. Now look, guess who's the first round pick of the Chargers? Akeem Mesidor. Type his name into gematria, equals 126. Remember, like I said, Mike McDaniels coming from Miami goes to Chargers on 126, January 26th, the same day Kobe was gone. And like I said, this year's going to be surrounded about Kobe because the Super Bowl's in LA. And the 63s, Jim Harbaugh is 63 years old. Chargers' last championship win was in 1963. This is 63 years later. Akeem Mesidor, in the most pure cipher, equals 63. And then President Trump, I believe, equals 72. Akeem Mesidor equals 72. But just to bring the full circle moment, like I've been saying all year, the Super Bowl's on the 45th day of the year. Miami equals 45. UCLA just won the March Madness tournament on 4/5. Well, what do you know? Akeem Mesidor, 25-year-old old player, finally gets drafted on the Charger, and his birthday is April 5th, 4/5. Drew Brees equals 45. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame this year. First drafted by the Chargers. Eli Manning on the Chargers for 45 minutes on 12-6, somewhat like 126. The Chargers got blew out 45-0 by the Patriots in Justin Herbert's first season, which was the Chargers' 61st season. That's when Justin Herbert was drafted during the Chargers' 61st season as a franchise. Akeem Mesidor, for me, just put on display, this is the Chargers here to go to Super Bowl. Because what do you know? He was just playing in the national championship game in Miami. He was playing for Miami. And that's the Chargers' first pick. Come on now, man. Los Angeles equals 53. The Super Bowl is going to be 53 days after Jim Harbaugh's birthday. And Ontario, Canada, where Akeem Mesidor is from, equals 53 in the most pure cipher. Oh yeah, just another reminder. Tom Brady talked about Justin Herbert when he played the Washington Commanders, October 5th or 6th, I believe. It was 2025. I think it was October 5th. He said, the best passer in the league. That's what he called Justin Herbert, if he's protected by his offensive line. And we just witnessed the Chargers get 4 offensive linemen in this one draft. But remember, Tom Brady brought the flag football to showcase in LA, just ahead of the 2028 LA Olympics, which will have flag football. So Tom Brady had all of these current football players as he played himself. And where did they play? They played in BMO Stadium in LA on March 21st, 2026. What do you know? Isn't that 213? Around the world, most people put the date as the day, then the month. So March 21st, which is 2/1/21/3, the third month. LA area code is 213. And mind you, this flag football game that was hosted in LA, Los Angeles Chargers equals 80. This was on the 80th day of the year, and Trump will be 80 years old during the Super Bowl 61. Now remember, Akeem Mesidor, Chargers first round draft pick, born on 45 weeks before the Super Bowl 61, which will be on the 45th day of the year. He's from Miami. He played in the national championship in Miami on the Miami Hurricanes. And Miami equals 45. Chargers' only Super Bowl appearance was in Miami. Peyton Manning, first Super Bowl win was in Miami versus the Bears. Justin Herbert is compared to Peyton Manning, plus starting 0-3 in playoffs just like Peyton Manning. Drew Brees will be in the Hall of Fame. His full name equals 45. His first Super Bowl win was in Miami. He's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2026. The Super Bowl 61 logo colors is the Miami colors. So isn't it a coincidence that Super Bowl is going to be on the 45th day of the year when the logo has the Miami color and Miami equals 45? And the Miami player, Bam Adebayo, breaks Kobe record with 83 points. Super Bowl equals 83. And it was on Justin Herbert's birthday, and they both were 28 years old. And Bam Adebayo's birthday this year is going to be a span of 213 days before the Super Bowl. And the anniversary next year, the day he broke the 81-point game for Kobe, will be 24 days after the Super Bowl in LA. And Kobe won 24, which is also Justin Herbert's birthday. And Justin Herbert is probably going to be looked at as the next star after that if he goes to the Super Bowl and if he potentially wins it, which it looks like he's going to do that. That's why everything is set up for 61. Chargers' only championship in their franchise was in 1963, and Jim Harbaugh is 63 years old, and that's 63 years later. And in that championship, they scored a total of 61 total points with both teams combined. And then Justin Herbert, damn near could be the best franchise quarterback in this franchise, gets drafted in the Chargers' 61st season, and his full name equals 61, Justin Herbert, and he plays the Eagle, Kobe hometown. 61 weeks before Super Bowl 61, and that game was 107 days after Kobe's birthday, and Super Bowl 61 is going to be in the 107th season of the NFL. That's why it's looking like the Bears could be something, because Kobe Gone Day is the same day the Bears won their only championship, the 86 Bears. In 1986, the Bears won it on January 26, 126. Same day Mike McDaniel was hired. Mike McDaniel, 43 years old, and that's why Bam Adebayo broke the record, 83 points, 43 days after he was hired to the Chargers, and the Chargers equals 43, and Mike McDaniel was 43 years old. But the Bears' only Super Bowl win was on Kobe Gone Day. And then they finally go to Super Bowl 41, LA equals 41, and that was versus Peyton Manning. And they lost to Peyton Manning. And now it's 41 years later since the Bears won a Super Bowl. Could they just be in there? Because the year after they won that Super Bowl, who was drafted by them? Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh was drafted by the Bears. The year after they won the Super Bowl. Could his first Super Bowl be versus his originally drafted team, Bears, in a full circle moment? And then Justin Herbert full circle moment? Basically reenacting Peyton Manning's career? Fascinating, And if they don't go that route, I still feel the Eagles route. Because it sure was a ritual last year, December 8th, 2025. Look that game up. It was on ESPN, the Monsters Inc. game. And you see how Super Bowl 61 is going to have the Toy Story theme, or all of the cartoons, Pixar, and whatever the case may be. That's their theme for Super Bowl 61. And they just had that same theme on this ritualistic day that they had all of this happen. 61 weeks before Super Bowl 61. They had the Monster Inc. game, and now they're going to somewhat do the similar thing during Super Bowl 61 when the same player, Justin Herbert, can be in it. He went viral that day when he didn't want to talk to the ESPN analyst when she asked questions, and he was ready to go celebrate with his team. Full circle moment. If that's the same lady interviewing him after the Super Bowl. Crazy. Hey, I'm just bringing up all facts. Akeem Mesidor just took it to a whole nother level, bro. I got all the evidence. But remember, Justin Herbert's first playoff game was versus the Jaguars, and that was a total of 61 points. And that was in the Chargers' 63rd season. And that just put a mark on Justin Herbert's career. He could do a full circle moment and redeem himself this year. Or not, but it's not looking like that's the thing that they're doing. Him being out in LA, going to Dodger World Series game, going to the Lakers game, probably going to potentially go to the playoffs. If the Lakers go to the next round, he's going to be going to that game. He got his girlfriend. Come on, Super Bowl's on a Valentine's Day. He all in love with this girl. And it's also on Oregon Establishment Day. Like, come on, man. This is the Oregon quarterback. It's like they're just feeding it. Like, oh, it's destiny. And it could be, but I mean, I could just see the future.